from what's going on, YouTube family. We are back. How are you doing today on this wonderful, what's the day? Tuesday? My days be meshing together. I am Sky Chase, your business and finance educator, your multi hyphenate, your author, producer. Check all the boxes, all of the above. Yesterday, I came on here and we were talking about economy. And I want to lay the foundation. And I just want to give you some examples. Yesterday, I gave you some benefits of knowing what the economy is about. So I really want to kind of make it fun. I really don't want to get into the GDP, and we're going to get into all of that. But I really want you to see how it benefits you on a regular basis. It's like when I was in high school and couldn't stand physics. I would just go to the class, go to the back of the room, and just go to sleep. I could care less about if I went up to the top of a building and the velocity of the wind was going in the direction and I dropped the ball at what speed would the ball hit the ground. Who cares? I'm sleepy. I didn't care. No, and you know why? Because they didn't make it interesting. Make it interesting. Talking about economy can be a very boring subject matter. So that's why I'm kind of coming at it from a different point of view. I want it to really be interesting. I want you to be able to apply it to your everyday life so you can really see how important it is to your business because it affects your business, as Trump would say, greatly. It affects your business. And so, but I want to kind of explain it to you in a way that will kind of make you think, that's not so difficult. That's not so hard. So, as I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about tonight, before I went to the gym, I tell you, when you start going to the gym, you really start being careful about what you eat. You think about that bag of potato chips, I have to be on the treadmill for 45 more minutes just to get rid of that one little bag of chips. You'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna leave that bag alone. When you on a treadmill, you just be thinking about why is it so easy to put the fat on, but to get it off, boy, you got to fight. My goodness, what's the problem? And this is the thing. Perfect example. Perfect. We need to come up with something that will melt the fat quickly. We need to melt the fat quickly. And that's what business is about right there. Taking everyday things. Because see, necessity is the mother of invention. Most of the things that were invented were things that we needed. We needed a light. I need this desk. I need this cup. I need this microphone. So you have to think about in an economic downturn, why do people prosper? You know why they prosper? Because that's the time when all of the problems come to the surface. And what do business owners do? What do entrepreneurs do? What do creatives do? Every day, all day, we solve problems. We first start solving problems in our lives. Then our friends come to us and we have to solve their problems. Then we started solving problems of people at school, at work, in these other places. And then you grow up as an adult, you start to solve problems on your job. And then you start to solve problems for the masses. That's all an entrepreneur is someone who knows how to come up with solutions. And in an economic downturn, there are a lot of problems, and they all seem to bubble up to the surface. So, we're going to talk about the economy at a different angle. And we're going to talk about why people prosper in this time, why more millionaires are made during this time. So I didn't get a chance to type out my solutions, but I did take some notes, and I should have emailed them to myself, but I didn't. So the first thing I really wanted to talk about is that think about some things that you see every single day that's going around in the world that get on that like really get on your nerves. And you say, I really wish I could come up with something, for that particular problem. So I'm gonna give you an example of a paper I wrote when I was in college, and my professor said, you need to do this. And I still probably need to do it, even though somebody did it, but the kind that I wanted to do. But I was thinking about when you're by yourself and you don't have anybody to scratch your back or wash your back for you, and you can't reach you can't reach your back. I wanted to come up with something that you could put in the bathtub and you can scratch your back. That you don't have to be taking that little thing and doing this because it's still going to miss spots in your back. So when I did the paper on it, my professor was like, "Yeah, that will sell," and that's economy. That's it. You're coming up with a solution and you're taking whatever it is that you come up with for the masses and you're selling it at the marketplace. You're creating economy. Y'all, we also call it monetizing, monetizing your skills. But I think economy is more so like, for an example, one of the things I wanted to do before Trump became the president, I wanted to balance the national budget. I wanted to get myself and a few other colleagues together and balance the budget, but I didn't want to do it by stealing from the people, though. I wanted to balance the budget the way the budget's supposed to be balanced. And we're going to talk about that too, because budgets are very powerful. Budgets kind of show you, what you have coming in and what it is that you have going out. It's really keeping track of your money, because remember I told you, money likes to move. And so if you don't know, people a lot of times think that you need to have um, a lot of money to have a budget. No, you don't. You just need to know where your spending is going. And if you never know where your spending is going, you never know how you're going to save, because you have to budget to save and then save to invest. A lot of times people don't want to invest because they're like, well, we don't really have the money. But then when you look at their budget and you see how many times they ate out and how much money they spent on frivolous things and how many things that they could get rid of without, changing the lifestyle, but that they can save money. For an example, if you want to save for a trip, I always use this as an example. You want to save for a trip, you look at your budget and you say, oh, we spent $200 on eating out. We can cut that down to, instead of $200 a month, we can cut that down to $100 a month. That extra $100 can go into a savings account, because your bank has a program where you can put money to save for Christmas. So if you put $100 in an account every month, that's Christmas gifts. And you take it out during Christmas, that's $1,200 that you save just by you still eating out. You're just not eating out as much as you were before. That's the power of a budget. You budget to save, and then you save to spend. I mean, to invest. And so the thing is that people do too much spending and they don't keep track of that spending. They have no idea to know where their money is going. And you need to know. You need to know where that's going. So you need to create a prosperity plan. And most people don't have a prosperity plan. So when you don't know where your money is going, then you're just going to basically waste it. So, because I said that yesterday that the consumer is really what makes you broke and what makes you poor. It's the creator that creates wealth. And so in the economy, like right now, I'm sure you could look at the news, like the lady that invented the CPR. It's almost like a CPR vest for people who've never done CPR. You pretty much put it on the person that needs the CPR, and it pretty much walks you through the instructions. It's made her $1 million. She's a multi-millionaire. Just because you came up with a diagram for people who don't know how to do CPR. That's economy. That's creating economy. That's creating your own economy on your own terms because you're solving a everyday problem. And that's why abundance is all around you because you're not realizing that these solutions are coming to you. Because I know for me, solutions come to me every day, all day. I have to literally walk around with a book and an ink pen so that I can keep track of all of the ideas and all of the solutions that come to me. I have solutions for right now. We have a growing population of people that's living in their cars. It's a growing population, and I think the girl from En Vogue, she came on and she talked about how she had been living in her car for like 3 years. And then her manager came on and said he offered her a place to stay and she didn't want to stay. Yeah, she probably didn't want to play to stay. So she's like, "No, I'm good. I'll sleep in my car." So, what is it that you can come up with to help people that want to sleep in their cars? Because the rent is sky high. The rent is going up sky high. People can't pay their rent anymore and they're opting to sleep in their cars. Other people are opting to sleep in their storage bins. People are literally sleeping in their storage bins. So, how can you create something? What solution can you come up with to help them in this economic downturn? And it doesn't have to be something complicated. I have a couple of things that I'm working on that is going to answer some of the problems that are arising in this economic downturn. And so I want you to begin to think about that. It's more to it than just creating digital products. Digital products is great. Nothing wrong with that. But I want you to think more about manufacturing. We have to get back to manufacturing. We have to get back to making things. Aren't you tired of everything being made in China? I am so tired of everything being made in China because they don't make the most, you know, what word am I looking for? Quality. They do not, everything is not worth cheap. See, I like quality. I don't necessarily have to have a name brand on my back, but I want that whatever I wear to be quality. I want it to last. I don't want to wash the shirt one time and it falls apart. So China, they don't really make things with quality, not that I can see. And then because they're like smaller people, and then they make stuff for America, and what they call a small, that's for a little kid. Americans are beefy. We eat. So a large, that's not a large. Their large is a small. Really, for us, we have to get like a 1X or a 2X. That's a large. A 1X is really a medium. A 2X is like a large, and a 3X is like an extra large. That small, medium, and large that they make, not for Americans, for them, because they're little people. But we're not. We're regular size, beefy, barbecue eating, chicken wing eating, steak eating people. We can't wear them little clothes. So I'm tired of that stuff made in China because it's cheap. And you can't pick up anything that's made in America. You know, there's a place here in Houston, Texas, where I took my daughter for her birthday, and then I took my granddaughters for their birthday, and then I went for my birthday, where you can make your own perfume. I made my own perfume. So I want us to think about, in this economy, I want us to think about manufacturing. I want us to think about, have you ever thought about just making your own, just everything. Making your own, growing your own food. The thing that's really interesting about that, and I talk to people about this all the time. When you walk down the street, once upon a time, you could be able to pick an apple off of a tree. I remember when I first moved here to Houston, Texas, I was like, where is all of the, like, y'all don't have no fruit trees or anything? Because see, even though I grew up in the city, I would always, my grandmother would sometimes let me go to the country because we have family in the country. In the country, you see lemon trees and you have fruit on trees. So somebody was saying that they took away all the female trees and all they have is male trees. But the female trees also is what helps to clear, because trees help to clear the air, but not if it's all male trees. So capitalism has taken away all the female trees so that we have to go to the supermarket and and buy fruit from them. They put the land or the in front of your house in case you needed to grow your own food and you have greenery and grass in your backyard in case you needed to grow your own food. So why can't you grow in your backyard, put some fruit trees in your front yard, and your family can eat off of that? So we just sit and complain about that we don't have fruit that has seeds in it because it's all GMO. This is true, but we can grow our own. And so that's what I mean when I say we're not thinking, we're just reacting to everything that's going on. And people are very afraid about everything that's happening with the government. But again, we can create our own economy. We don't have to depend on government aid. We can capitalize ourselves. It's so many things. I met a lady, she made her own shoes. I thought the story she was telling was quite interesting. She was talking about how she was wearing these shoes and the shoes were uncomfortable, and that she would calculate how far she had to walk from place to place, for how long her feet was going to hurt. And I just was thinking to myself, now I'm totally the opposite, and I love shoes. I have no less than 365 pairs of shoes in my closet at any given time. Somebody told me to do a show on it, to show all your shoes. I'm not going to do it to really show my shoes. I think I'm going to do it, and I'm going to let y'all decide which shoes I'm going to give away, because I'm getting ready to get rid of all those shoes and buy all new shoes. So I just thought it was really interesting that why would you wear shoes that hurt your feet? That's one thing I do not do. And I wear heels. I love heels. That's all I wear is heels. If you see me with a sneaker on, it's going to have a thick sole on. It's going to have a really thick sole because I have flat feet. Flat feet and flat shoes just don't go together. It's quite painful, actually. So I wear heels all the time. And I just remember thinking, matter of fact, I think I asked her, why would you wear shoes that hurt your feet? Nevertheless, she created her own shoe line and she came up with a shoe that's comfortable. Yes, I forgot the name of it. She came up with a shoe that's comfortable. This is creating your own economy. Shoe line is doing very well. Thought that story was very interesting. This is economy. This is how they should have did physics. Now I love physics. Now I'm good at physics. In school, I wasn't. If they would have taught physics in a way that showed me how it helped me in my everyday life, then maybe I would have been more interested and wouldn't go to sleep. But that's how I want to do with the economy. I want to share it with you in an everyday kind of way. What is not in the world that you want to be in the world? And I'm sure you've had these ideas before. You know, most of the people that create hair products, products for your skin, they always have some story and say, oh, we had this thing going on, or my hair fell out for that reason, and I created this thing. And now, it's always a story, a reason why. It's always something that was missing and something that was needed in the world that they didn't see there. So what is it in the world that you think that should be there and it's not, you know? And create that. And it's never too late to create it. It's never too late to you don't want to cook. They didn't want to cook greens. They made their own greens and put them in a can and sell them in the store. And I mean, it can apply to just about anything, you know? You don't need more hustle. You need more creativity. What did I say yesterday? We need what? Innovation. We need creativity. We need people that are change agents. We need trailblazers. We need people that's going to fill the voids of all of these businesses that are going out of the business. What's the difference between you and Bath and Beyond? What's the difference? Look at Stormy. She has her Canvas Beauty, and eventually, why not get a storefront? That's another thing in distribution. If you're making multi-millions of dollars, why not have a storefront? She could easily take those products, instead of shipping them out to everybody, go get her a storefront and put her products in there and a cash register in there and hire somebody and let the people come and buy the products directly from her. And then have the shipping and distribution in the back. See, it's all about working smarter. It's a lady recently, you probably saw it on social media, where she has her own business and she worked so hard. She was hustling and grinding. I keep telling y'all, stay away from all that hustling and grinding and create systems and processes for your business. And she was tired. She laid down, she went to sleep, and she died. Yeah, because people are so stressed out right now. People are so stressed out. They don't know how they're going to, make ends meet. People are living from paycheck to paycheck. People are burnt out. It is so much negativity in the world. I don't even watch the news, and I limit my social media intake because I don't really see anything anybody's talking about that I really want to listen to. So I want you to really think about, when you create your own economy, what things is it that you want to see in the world, and what problem is it that you want to solve, so that you won't have mental and financial burnout. You don't want to do that. Once you make a product, you only have to make the product one time, and then you just rinse and repeat, and then you just keep sales. Pretty much your expenses are going to stay the same. Your profit margin is going to be based on how many products you make and sell. So we're in a time where we can't panic, and people are panicking. People are panicking. They are really panicking because they do not know what to do, but abundance is all around you. And when we say abundance, we mean solutions. We mean solutions. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. What gets on your nerves? What is it that you? What thing gets on your nerves? Like, my son, he's silly. He's like, I wish we had a something like a pancake flipper. When people get in front of you when you driving, you can just flip them out the way. I mean, we can't do that, but that's an example of how abundance is all around you. And you never even think twice about it. I have a product that I'm coming out with for people that sleep in their cars. Um, I have a beauty line coming out, starting with one product and then expanding. And then I'm doing something for the men because we don't really never think about the men. We don't have a lot of products coming out for the men. So I'm doing something, for the men for some of the problems that they have. So pick a target audience. Pick a target audience that you see is struggling with a problem and come up with a solution for that problem. It is really just that simple. You don't have money because you don't want to apply yourself. You don't want to do the research. You don't want to do what it takes to prosper. And I think actually from being on the service side and creating programs and writing books and all of that, I think that um, doing manufacturing and creating products, I think is much easier. It is much easier and it's a lot more fun because I just like being a scientist. It's a lot of fun because you get to experiment with things and you get to, learn. Like when I started to make my product that's coming out, I had to learn about, the skin and the layers of the skin because this is the skin is the biggest organ, on your body. And I wanted to use all natural ingredients because it's going to seep, deeply into those. You have 7 layers of skin. I wanted it to penetrate through all the 7 layers and to just have an effect. Eventually, I want to come out with my own vitamin because I don't want you to just apply topical to your skin. I want you to beautify from within. So I want you to. So it's going to be a whole regimen because you really can't get into beauty without looking at the inside and what things you need to do to keep your skin thriving and keep yourself hydrated and things of this nature because we're dealing with all the elements and toxins and everything that's in the air. You have to constantly be exfoliating your skin, especially as you get older. As you get older, it gets a little bit more difficult to keep your skin, looking youthful. All these pictures you see behind me, that's when I was young. Those are my younger days. And it's amazing when I look at my pictures when I was younger. I'm like, wow, was it so easy for my skin to just glow and just be beautiful? Now I got a whole beauty supply store in my bathroom, just to keep my skin. And it still is not to the full, level that I want it to be. But I just wanted to come here, tonight. I'm not going to stay the whole time because I told you I was going to come on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But I just wanted to come because today I think I just kept listening to people that were so panicky. It's like they're so scared. And the time that you use and the energy that you're using to be scared, you could be using to think of ways just to make life better, to make life better for yourself, to make life better for other people as well. And you don't have to participate in this current economy. Will it affect you? It can. I think some of the things that are going on is just diabolical, must be the word of the day because it is so appropriate. It's so sad to see the things that are being done. It is so sad that racism is still a thing. That is incredible. that you really believe that you're better than another race of people. I truly believe that racism is a mental illness. I know it's a spirit for sure, but I really believe it's a mental illness. There is no way you can believe you're better. And it's so, the hypocrisy of it. You want to get rid of all the immigrants, but you're married to a person that's not from this country. And your son is not from this country. So how you gonna get rid of people that's not from this country when your wife and your child is not from this country? So if anybody you should start kicking out, it should be them. But you're not going to do that. And so that's not the way the government is supposed to operate. We we vote for you so that you can do what's best for the people. We pay you taxes out of our hard-earned money so that you can build bridges, make better schools, make sure the streets are don't have a lot of potholes. And we pay into the taxes for you to take care of these things, and you decide to take the money and do something completely totally different with it. So that's not why we vote. That's not why people voted for you. I didn't vote for him. Don't get it twisted now. But my point is, we don't have to subscribe to that way of thinking. We do not have to subscribe to that. And so I'm loving the fact that Black people are coming together and they are starting their own businesses, because really we're already creating our own economy for real. All we have to do is start buying from each other, which is a perfect example of how we do not have to subscribe to that government. We can create our own parallel government. And so I want us to all think of it. It's not just for the so-called elite. It's not just for celebrities. It's for just the everyday people. Just think about everything that's in your supermarket. Somebody created it. Somebody made it. Every single thing in there, every box of cereal you buy, even though a lot of them are owned by corporations, a lot of them are owned by businesses, which is really sad because they're not really thinking about the health of the people. They're just thinking about making money. And so that's why I'm coming here to stress to you the importance of creating your own economy and prospering in this economic downturn. And I mean, if you want to do um, digital products, that's wonderful too. But the point of the matter is, you got to shift. It's time to make the shift. You have to shift from being an employee to really being a creator of your own destiny and doing things on your own terms. So I just kind of wanted to come here and just give you that to really talk about, to think about, because there is no such thing as job security anymore. They fired all them federal workers and nobody did a thing. I was expecting for the unions to be out there protesting, and nobody did anything. So it is up to you. Nobody is coming to save you. And even the people that talk about God, he gave you the power. You have the power. And you're going to have to put it together, you, not anybody else. And a lot of times, I know for me, I'm still a solopreneur. Most of everything I do by myself. I contract out. If I want something done, I contract it out. I don't have employees yet. I just contract people out to do certain things that I need done. But for the most part, I just went to school and learned how to do whatever it is. Right now, I'm a producer. I'm going to be producing my own shows. You saw me. Some of you might have saw me produce the show with my son. Man Translation. It was a relationship show. It was a really great show. Because I just really want women to know, like, guys be running game, and they have their own little language, and you need to be able to decode the language and figure out what they're talking about. A lot of people are talking about the Nelly and Ashanti. Listen, don't spin the block. Do not spin the block. Like, there's no way. I can't even think of anybody. I mean, I haven't dealt with a lot of people, but I can't think of one person that I would ever say, let me give him a second chance. Like, Ashanti must have really had a hard time finding somebody. And people are just saying she should have never went back with Nelly. I'm like, wow, that's so terrible. It's just terrible. But it's difficult for people that want to be married. Some people want to be married, and marriage can be a good thing when it's done the right way. Um, but everybody don't want to be married. But for the people that do, it's very difficult out here for them to find someone. Boom, problem. There's a problem. There's a young lady here in Houston. She came on social media and she was talking about, how difficult it was to find things to do. And Houston has a lot of things to do. And, how she wanted the people to come together and everything. And she just was talking about it. And then she decided to do an event. And I think the first couple of events she did for free. And the turnout was so incredible that now she has a membership. Problem. She has a membership now. Matter of fact, she has an event coming up. I said I was going to go. Oh, Lord, I put one more thing for me to do. But now she, excuse me, has a whole community of people, and she has like these events and people come. Problem. You have people that want to be married, people that want to, be matched up with other people. That's something that, that you can do, that you can come up with if you're really good at, putting people together. Some people are really great matchmakers. Some people match people together, they get married and live happily ever after. So if you have that gift and you're able to match people together, there you are. In the economic downturn, don't nobody care. People trying to find love. They want to find love. So you can help them, find love. So like right now we're dealing with what? You have elderly people that need, because I think that a lot of these what do you call them? The places that you could order the food that's already made, the factor, and all of these different places that you could order food and have the food delivered, to you. Um, a lot of times, even though that's great and it's healthy, but a lot of times people can't afford that price point. So maybe you can look at that and target another group of people that need that same service, but you could do it in a more affordable way. They have Meals on Wheels for like seniors. Maybe you could do it for seniors that's on a fixed income. Maybe you could do it for people that's disabled and can't really, they live by themselves. They can't really cook every single day. And you can have the meal prep where it gets delivered, to them. Boom. There you go. And the point is, again, abundance is all around you. Find a problem to solve, because during a recession and a depression, there are more problems than at any other time. That's how you prosper in the economic downturn. You solve problems, and they are everywhere. They're everywhere. So you get to monetize, those skills, because food prices are going up. Food prices are going up, and they're probably not going to come down anytime soon. And so that would be a way, because you don't want to be in a country that's supposed to be considered the wealthiest country in the world, but people are starving. Who is it that you want to help? Go on the government website and see just a list of problems that the government has that they need solved. The government has a lot of problems that need to be solved. So I really want to kind of have you look at this in an everyday kind of way. I don't really want to explain it to you in the technical way, the GDP and the taxes and the inflation, and I can do all of that and get all technical. But I want you to think about. I want you to be driving down the street tomorrow, and I want you to look and say, I want the light bulb to go off and say, wow, I think I could come up with something for that. And sometimes with inventions, you don't have to really invent the whole thing over. You can modify an invention and it's still considered an invention. You don't really have to reinvent the wheel. I'm really considering um really putting my perfume on the market because it smells really, really good. And I give out gifts, cologne and perfume. Do you know how much perfume costs? I bought what did I buy myself for my birthday? I treat myself very well. I bought myself, what did I buy? Oh, it smells so good too. I bought myself Burberry Goddess. It smells so good. Mm, 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 mm. $150 a pop. I said, oh, wait a minute. Epiphany. I think I want to go in the perfume business. I bought my son some cologne for his birthday. Both of my sons. My other son don't even know I bought him some cologne. I ain't even sent it to him yet. Oh Lord, his birthday was in April. Lord have mercy. Um, I bought them Millionaire Royale, $150 a pop. That's a very lucrative field. Perfumes. People love to smell good. And the girl, when I made my perfume, I was spraying everybody. I said, "You smell this? How you think it smells?" I stayed doing a survey about something. I said, "I said, smell this." They was like, "Oh, it smells good." Everywhere I went, grocery store, I don't care where I was spraying my perfume. So the one girl, she said, "It smells like summer, but you could also use it in the winter." She said, "You can make a candle." She started naming stuff that I can make with my perfume. She said, "This is a good scent." And I said, Epiphany. I said, yeah, I could do a cologne. I mean, not a cologne. I could do a candle, a bath bomb. I could do a bath bomb. Yeah, because see here, and this is why I love Houston. Houston is like old school meets new school. It has like retro stuff here. It's so diverse and eclectic. I love eclectic. And it's everything from horseback riding. In the city, we had horseback riding, but it was only one horseback riding place. It was always crowded. You could never ride the horses, and half the time it didn't look like they was even feeding the horses. So, but here you're in the country, so there's horseback riding places everywhere. You could just go. It don't even cost a lot to ride the horse or whatever, and it's all kind of stuff to do. You could go. Of course, the sipping paints is really popular here as well. They have where you can make your own mats. You can make your own candles. I think I took my daughter. She made her own. She did. She made her own candle. Somebody made a candle, and you can make your own bath bombs. Everything, because aromatherapy is good to relieve stress. You know, when you're smelling vanillas and lavenders, and your house is smelling all good, and you come home, you know, and then you take a bath and you put the bath bomb in there, you know, it really calms you down in this stress filled, crazy world that's going on. When you come home, you want to decompress, you want to smell nice. You know, I could do a lotion. What's I'm talking about? I am going to create my own economy, and I'm going to bring you along for the journey. I'm going to bring you along from beginning to end, and I'm going to talk to you about the ideation. When you get the idea, what do you do with the idea? You know, the idea is the seed, the money is the harvest. Money is not a seed. The church folk done told y'all wrong. Money is not a seed. A seed is anything that can reproduce after its own kind. Money can multiply, but it cannot reproduce. Money is the harvest. It is not a seed. So when you go to church and they be talking about sow a seed, you're a seed. You talking about you want me to sow me? I'm a seed. Money is not a seed. And I have studied this thing extensively, spiritually and naturally. Money is not a seed. No, it is not. Money is a harvest. Ideas are seeds. Your gift is a seed. Your talent is a seed. Your intellectual property, seeds. Your thoughts, seeds. Everything starts out small. It starts out as a seed. You started out as a seed. You were a seed. And then the harvest grew. So you have to know how to take that seed, and how to plant it, and how to get the harvest of money from it. And if you can learn how to do that and rinse and repeat, then you will always have money. And you will never have to worry about living from paycheck to paycheck. And you will never have to worry about government aid unless you're getting a government contract where you go in business with the government, not work for the government, work with the government. You won't have to concern yourself with those things. And then you will be in control of your own destiny. You will live life on your own terms. But as long as you chase money, then that really won't be the case. You have to cultivate the seeds. It's like having your own garden. You have to cultivate that. And that's why I'm a multi hyphenate. I create programs, I have my own notary, I have a real estate company, I write books, I have my own publishing company. So for every idea that I have and I cultivate, there's a purpose behind it. So I don't just have one way of making money. So not only am I creating my own economy, but I also have an ecosystem, which is a sub-economy. So that whatever happens with the government is not going to affect my life, because I'm always going to be able to create based on a need. And so I'm going to take you guys on a journey, because all everybody talks about is money, money. All you see is grinding and hustling and people showing off their Birkin bags and houses and cars, but they never show you the journey of how they got there. And so I want to show the journey of how I've already created my own economy where you have the freedom. Nobody gives you freedom. Who are you to tell me I'm not free? Like who? Like where they do that at? Who are you to tell me I'm not free? I'm free. See, that's the issue. Y'all allow people to come in your life and create a narrative. And not only are they creating a narrative, they create a narrative that's not even true. And you're believing it. You cannot come in my life and tell me I'm not free. I'm free. And I'm gonna stay free. So it's not even about, um overthrowing anything. It's just about creating your own. That's the freedom. That's true freedom. Create your own. There's so many things I do um on my own. Even with this product that's coming out, I'm my own distributor. I'm going to distribute my own. I'm not paying anybody to do it, because why? I need to learn the process of how it goes. And then when I get to a certain level in my sales, then I'm going to scale up my distribution. Then I'll scale up my distribution. So sometimes you just got to get in the trenches and learn how the thing works, instead of trying to hop on, all everybody that's make digital products. That's great. But I want to make digital products that's innovative. I don't want to buy old information. What is going on now? I need what's cutting edge. I need cutting edge, and I need foresight. What is it that we're going to need down the line? You know, Nothing wrong with digital products, but I don't want no recycled old information from 1972. Okay, I need right now information. I need insight and foresight. What is it that we're going to need in the future? And so instead of being panicky, instead of being afraid, I need for us to start paying attention, having some awareness, and looking at what problems you need to be solving. Because God knows there's plenty of them. It is plenty of problems to solve in real time. And so I want you to think about what skills you have. Because remember, I told you I took inventory. What skills do you have that you can monetize? If you already know your gifts, how could you take that to another level? What is it that you already can do? And let me tell you something. When you are at these jobs, I always call jobs boot camp. I call everything boot camp. Everything is training. What? Let me tell you something. When they fired those people from the federal government, and people was like, they're not gonna be able to find no job. Yes, they are. Let me tell you, baby. When you work for the federal government, you get some of the best training there is, top tier. I work for the federal government, the state, and the city. You go to some of the best training. I have, matter of fact, everything on my resume and everything I pretty much learned how to do, I learned when I worked for the government as a public servant. I learned stress management, delegations, appraisals, all of that. Uh, um, just everything. Just everything. I learned, and all of those things I incorporate in my business. Every single thing that I learned on my job, every single class that they sent me to, and I did every single day repetitiously, I do on my job. I'm an administrator by trade. So the reason I have 5 businesses is because at work I had to work across five departments or more. So if I could do that at work, I could do it for myself, because I'm creating an economy and I'm creating a sub economy, because money flows, it ebbs and it flows. Money moves like water. So this business might be making money, and this part might be slow, but it's still money coming in from this area over here. I mean, you could call it multiple streams, but multiple streams is kind of different. Multiple streams is like, for example, my coaching academy. In my coaching academy, I create programs, I write books, I'm starting to do more speaking engagements. That's multiple streams in one area. Y'all think multiple streams is different? No, it's multiple streams that come. It's like fingers. This is the main thing, and then out of that main thing come four things, like that. So most of the time, people go do think four different things that's not related. Being a notary and being in real estate, they coalesce. They go together. My coaching academy, I could easily create programs for real estate. So all they all come together. It looks like I'm doing so many different things. My publishing company works hand in hand with, I could write books on my notary, I could write real estate books, I could write programs. So it all works, it all lends itself. So I don't really go do all these different things. It's just like your body. You have two arms, two legs. On what everything you have on one side, you have on another. 12 systems that work inside. Those 12 systems have processes. They all have processes, and it looks like if you slice yourself open, it looks like it may not work. It looks like a super highway going on. You got arteries and veins, and 200 and you got what 206 bones in your body. That's your structure, and so that's the same way that you're supposed to create a business. That's the same way I create my business. And so it looks like it's a whole lot of things that don't go together, but they do, because you have different parts of your business that do different things, but they all lend to the body, and they all make the body work. They all make it work. And so that's the way that you have to begin to start to create your own economy on your own terms, based on the call of God that's on your life, based on the purpose, in your life, based on your vision, your mission, your call, your mandate. And so instead of just sitting back panicking and wondering what Trump is going to tweet, if you know anything about, they have diagnosed him with malignant narcissism. And, a lot of people talk about it, but you don't really want to listen to anything, because it is a form of it's a personality disorder, but it's mental instability. It's like being bipolar and schizophrenic all wrapped up into one. So can you really take anything seriously? Really, he shouldn't really be able to hold office for real, because he's really not in his right mind. He is not. And, there are things on the books that when we have these mental incapacities, as, the president of the free world, they're not supposed to be allowed to even be in office. That's a really serious thing. Malignant narcissism, they're the worst ones. They're capable of doing absolutely anything. And it is very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. And so anytime I come out and start talking, you need to take heed, because we can no longer be passive. You have to get serious about creating your own economy, being prepared, and building that Noah's Ark to protect yourself, protect your family, and some other people that you may have to bring along, because it's going to be the worst thing that anybody has ever seen. And it's not, what do you think is happening, in this underbelly? All of the people that are sleeping in their cars, we already have homeless people. Now there are more people, then he fired more people. Like, where do you think all these people are going to go? They have to go somewhere. They have to work somewhere. And so I'm also going to resurrect one of my books I wrote. I think I wrote it in 2019 because I really want to talk about. I keep hearing people say um, Trump is he's writing all these laws for the rich people. He's writing all these laws for the rich people. Well, just become rich. That's it. If he's writing all the laws for the rich people, just make a decision that you're going to be rich. Make yourself rich. That's all. You're already rich. You're already wealthy. Y'all keep trying to tell y'all wealth don't have nothing to do with money. You're the value. You're the money. You just got to bring the harvest. Make yourself rich. Decide today. Make a decision right now that you are going to be rich. So say he's making the laws for me because I'm rich. All right, y'all. I'm on my way to the gym. I'll probably see y'all tomorrow. Think about what problem you can solve in the world. Write it down. Monetize those skills. We're going to talk some more tomorrow. I'm having fun.